On to another dramatic day in court in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. This time, the focus on Combs after the judge threatened to have him removed from the courtroom. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman outside the Manhattan federal courthouse with more on the judge's warning to Combs. Katrina.
So during the testimony of Brianna Bongolan, this is a friend of Cassie Ventura's, who has accused Sean Combs of once dangling her over a balcony. Sean Combs was nodding quite a bit at various moments in the testimony, and the judge admonished him. He said that he was nodding vigorously, looking at the jury, and that if this continued, he would consider removing Combs from the courtroom. And that is a huge thing for a judge to say. A defendant has a right to be present for his criminal trial, and so it really shows how extreme the judge feels about this, for him to be making this warning and telling Combs that that is a possibility. It's also interesting that the judge used that word, nodding vigorously, because I had in my own notes that he was doing that same thing multiple times. One was when the defense on cross was saying that it wasn't true that he had sexually assaulted Bongolan, and Combs was nodding his head. And then especially at, I think, what the defense felt was a smoking gun for them, which is that she said this whole balcony incident happened around September 26th. We saw a photo of a bruise with metadata that had that date on it. The defense brought out that Sean Combs was actually performing at the Prudential Center in New Jersey on September 25th. He started nodding very strongly during this. And then they brought up a Trump International hotel bill from when he was staying there from the 24th to the 29th of September, so covering those dates when this incident allegedly happened. And we saw all of his breakfast charges from those dates. Now, the prosecution did bring this back a little bit. They showed text messages that Cassie Ventura had sent to Combs' assistant, Katrina Kaufman, where she said that he had dangled, she called her Bana, over a balcony and choked her. So there was a really, really interesting cross-examination today, but all of it led to the judge giving Combs this warning.
Yeah, stern warning. So jurors heard testimony from another one of Combs' ex-girlfriends. What did she tell them?
You know, this was such an echo of the testimony that we heard from Cassie Ventura, Sean Combs' ex-girlfriend. This woman, Jane, she's going by a pseudonym, testified that she met Combs in 2020, and she soon after started a relationship with him. She was dating him up until his arrest. And she testified about what she called hotel nights, which sound identical to the freak-offs that Ventura testified about. How initially she had this loving relationship with Sean Combs. It moved very quickly, and he started to ask her about fantasies of being with other men, and he ended up making this happen very quickly. She talked about how the first time they ever did it, it was sort of exhilarating. She felt like they were engaging in taboo behavior, and I actually did see Combs nodding during this, but as it continued, she said it started to happen every time they got together. They would have these hotel nights, and all she wanted to do was be with him, but she said she also wanted to make him happy. Over time, she says that she tried to tell him she didn't want to participate in these, and this all goes to these charges of sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation for the purpose of prostitution. She was talking about how she was transported on planes that Sean Combs paid for to different states where she would engage in these sexual activities, how he started paying her rent, giving her an allowance. We heard very similar things from Cassie Ventura, how he slowly began to have all of this control over her life.
Katrina Kaufman. Katrina, thank you.